All right, we are back for another high ticket sales call role play. We're going to jump into an offer that is for Christian marriage counseling. So, someone that's in a relationship, they're also Christian and they want to improve their relationship because it's on the verge of falling apart. Simon is going to be the closer, Jan is going to play the prospect, and we're going to go through the discovery part of the sales call because all of the things that you think you need to solve at the end of the call, not having to do follow up, not having to do objection handling, not closing the deal, are all repercussions for you screwing things up earlier on in the call. Right from the beginning of the sales call, you are going downhill and losing the deals. So I'm going to show you in this sales call role play how you start implementing the things that have taken 5 salespeople, one including myself, to all earning over $100,000 a month in commissions. So if you want to earn more money and you want to do that in a way where it's combining sales, spirituality, and self-actualizing instead of memorizing things, watch this role play, implement the things you're going to discover. So without any further ado, Simon, kick us off with your opening question.
Fantastic. So, Jan, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing with your marriage right now?
Great question. We've been together now for 5 years, and I see that I have my perspective of how I do things, and my partner, she has her ways of seeing things, and I noticed that we're not so aligned, and that creates discussions. And I tend to react very angrily, which I don't want to do, but I see that it's really creating this communication. Our communication is not great, and I see that our relationship is suffering. And now with a small kid and not a lot of sleep, I have even more less patience, and I see that we are fighting and arguing more and more.
Got it. Okay. So, you and your wife are fighting and arguing because you don't see things the same way. And it's been getting worse because you're not getting as much sleep. And now you have a small child that's also leading to it getting worse, essentially. Is that accurate?
Pause. Very important. I don't think I've ever trained on this in this way, folks. Let's imagine on a piece of paper, I draw a line down the middle of the piece of paper. On one side of the piece of paper, I write the word empathizing. And on the other side of the piece of paper, don't know what's wrong with my tongue today, I write down the word leading or leadership. What is the difference between empathizing and leadership? Leadership has empathizing in it. You can't lead someone without caring about them. But it has another side to it, which is not, I'm going to get on the same side of the table with you, put my arm around you, pat you on the back, and say, there, it's all okay. Leadership is, I'm holding the mirror up to you and showing you, yes, I understand your situation is sucking. It's painful. I empathize with that. But I'm also putting the onus back on you. The difference between empathizing and leadership is empathizing is we're both sitting and hugging and saying, oh, it just sucks and it's unfair and life's not great. Leadership is, yeah, it sucks, but let's bring you back into control and ownership that it's your fault and you can therefore do something about it. So, how does that look tangibly in the difference between the recap? What Simon was essentially saying is you and your wife are arguing, you've got a baby, it's made things worse, blah, 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 blah. It's very, I get you, I hear you, I understand your situation, but there's no leadership there. And so the difference would sound something more like this. Okay, so you're married and you are reacting more angrily around your wife and viewing the reason for that as misalignment. It's gotten worse, you reacting and being angry because you've got a small child. You are having less patience with the situation and your wife. And that's essentially where you're at. Is that accurate? Yes. Can you see the difference? I'm hearing you and I empathize with you, but I'm putting it back on you. And you got to start doing this from the beginning of a sales call. You don't want to start, and this is where a lot of you hit this brick wall, is you're like in pain, in discovery, empathizing with the prospect, and then there's like this guillotine halfway through the call where you're like, oh, now we need to shift gears into ownership. It's not like a hard divide between sitting and hugging out the empathy and then all of a sudden I'm going to shift it back on you and the prospect's like, what the fuck? Like from the beginning of the call, we're understanding and hearing the prospect, but we're always following this line of leadership. Does that make sense, guys? How many deals have you already lost this week that you could have closed but didn't because you were out of state? I'm not a fan of sales hacks, but if there was one thing you could do before your next sales call to raise your closing percentage, it's using my patented pre-call checklist. Imagine taking just 60 seconds to read 5 to 7 personalized bullet points on a piece of paper, and as unbelievable as it may sound, puts you into the optimal state to access your highest sales skills on every call. That's the pre-call checklist. I'm going to show you how to create your own. All you need is a piece of paper and to go through the training that I'm going to give you. Thousands of salespeople have used this framework to close more deals, and you can have your own for free. No strings attached in a matter of minutes. Click the link below this video, enter your email, and grab it right now.